Hey everybody, I just want to go ahead and quickly walk you through our second week. So, we are going to dive into a little bit more content this week than what we had last week. We're really going to start getting into the meat of what composition is. So, the first thing that we're going to be working on is learning to look at something a lot more closely than maybe we're used to. So you can see here we have reading closely and thinking critically, and we are going to do this using music this week. So I do have a little bit of a written lesson plan for you, so you can go back over here. I just want to walk you through a little bit here. I am going to take you through some of the music this week that we can be looking at to maybe start helping us to narrow down our own song choice. You can see I have a few things linked here for you to listen to kind of help you listen to some music that might be a little bit more argumentative or in depth, or just a deeper type of lyric or music. So I want you to kind of shift there. There's tons and tons of music we can work with, but I think you're going to start to see that some different types of genres or different types of songs are going to lend themselves better to this type of assignment. And what I mean by that is, like, Justin Bieber's Baby, Baby, Baby might not be a very rich, deep song with lots of deep meaning that we want to spend some time analyzing. So I kind of want to bring you over a little bit here to think about things a little deeper. Now, this has been done with Childish Gambino's This Is America. If you haven't seen how they break down this song and the music video, there are a ton of really great videos. You can do a quick Google search and see an example of how this is done. And since this is done so well online, this is the only song I am not going to let you choose. So I've just read so many different essays, and this one is so thoroughly analyzed online. But I think it's a great thing to look at to give you an idea of how we're doing this. And from there, you can take another song, take something else. There are a lot of songs here that you're going to see that maybe lean towards protest music. And what I mean by protest music is something that might have an argument about something. And protest music isn't always something that's based politically. Although with the last year that we've had, there certainly is a lot of music out there that would fit that genre, and you're welcome to write on that. But I don't want you to think that it's only, politics that, music objects to or, has an impassioned plea towards. We have other examples like Ed Sheeran's Beautiful People, which is really kind of picking on this idea of this Hollywood materialistic life. There's Justin Bieber's, who also kind of picks on Hollywood and is saying, you know what, your obsession with celebrities is devastating to younger performers. There are great songs out there that debate beauty standards or, fight for environmentalism or, any other number of issues that are out there. No Doubt has one called I'm Just a Girl, which talks about gender. But if you look across the span, I think you're going to find all different types of songs that might fit here. So what I want you to do is I want you to pick a song that has a deeper meaning than what most people might think. And this really can fit across many different genres. If you like country music, I'm sure you can find some there that would work. Although I'd probably say you might want to go a little bit further back than what some of our contemporary stuff is. Although maybe you can surprise me. There's some great hip hop songs and rap and, great gospel songs. You really are not going to be too limited in your genres. I'm open. If you can find a deeper meaning in, certain lyrics, then that's what you want to go with. So you're going to have a couple of assignments this week that are assigned to you. Your second, or your rough draft of your first essay is assigned this week. And I'm going to have you put that essay, your rough draft essay, into this next week's discussion post. So it's not going to be due this week. It's going to be due next week. And you're going to post that rough draft by next Tuesday in the discussion post. And we're going to go through and do a peer review, and we're going to clean it up before your final draft is due next Friday. The other thing that you have assigned this week, but actually due by this Friday, is your oral presentation. And you can scroll down here and you can see that this is due here this Friday night. And this is going to be super simple, and I don't want you to stress too much about this. There's going to be a couple ways that we can do this oral presentation. You can create a short video on YouTube or Screencast-O-Matic like I'm using right now, or on your computer or on your phone, and you can send it to me. Or, if you've not done anything like this, I do kind of walk you through how you can create your oral presentation in an online class. Or you can join me on 2 of the Zoom meetings that we're going to have. And, that way you can present it right there with me, and you don't have to do any types of recording. So that's going to be open to you. Now, your subject for this oral presentation is going to be on your favorite film. If you come in here and you look, you can see a little bit more information about that oral presentation and what we're looking for. But essentially, I want this to be about 2 minutes long. And you will have to have a live recording. It can't be like a black screen. I'm looking for things like eye contact, how well you're sticking to a thesis or a claim here. And so you're going to pick your favorite film, and you're going to tell me why this is such a great film. Maybe you want to do a quick little bit of research and, see how this performed at the Blockbuster, or the box office, and maybe who the major stars are in this film, who the director was. You can give me a short little, summary about this, and then tell me what it is about this film that you find so great. And I'm just going to go through, I'm going to watch those, and we're going to knock this assignment right out of the bat here and just get this one finished. This helps me to kind of get to know you a little bit more, to know how to say your name, because some I'm just reading on here. So this is a great introduction so that I can get to know you a little bit better. So this is going to be due Friday night. But I will have a Zoom on Tuesday and a Zoom on Thursday, and those will be posted. So if you want to just meet with me and do it that way, you can certainly do that. Okay, so I want to point out to your attention, I am going to extend your final draft. It was going to be due on the 2nd, but since that is Good Friday and I do have your oral presentation due that day, I'm going to push it back to the next week. So it won't be due until the 9th. But I do want you to go ahead and get working on that rough draft so that way we can do a peer review. You can find maybe some things that are going to help you. I do have a podcast where I'm talking about how everything is an argument, and this discussion really does focus quite a bit on music, and I talk about how, I find different arguments within music. So take a listen to that, and that might help you a little bit. We're going to focus on our grammar this week is comma splices and fragments and run-ons. So you will have a little bit of a grammar quiz here, and just like all of my other weekly quizzes, you can take these over and over again until you get 100. And then we're going to come here. This is the readings that you need to do, and I give you a little bit of information here to really get you thinking about analyzing an argument. So the first thing that you're going to see is I do have a handout that kind of breaks down how we do this. I have some lecture notes here to help you follow along a little bit more. I have a short video here which might be really helpful when you are starting out with an essay. And especially in an essay like this, and maybe we're talking about protest music, your first introduction, that very first body paragraph or your first paragraph that you're going to be writing, your introductory paragraph, is going to want to somehow set up the context of your discussion about protest music. And so this short video will give you a little bit of history and will help you to do this. So when I'm writing an introductory paragraph, I might want to just introduce that topic of, what protest music is, whether or not I think it is important. And then I'm going to want to somehow segue over and introduce the song that I'm going to write about. So I'm not going to start off with my song. I'm going to start off a little bit bigger, talking about the topic of protest music, or maybe just, music in general, the, importance of it and how it can, spread a message of hope or, a movement. You really have some leeway here. But maybe by that third sentence in the introduction, I want to introduce the song and the artist of the one that I plan on analyzing. And I'm going to finish that introduction with a really great thesis statement. And I do have some information I'm going to walk you right through. When you come down, I give you some little background here, some song choices so you can look at for this. You can certainly use one of these songs, or you can pick one of your own. I just like to have some examples because I think it's helpful so you can see what's going on, or if you really struggle with narrowing down an idea, I do have some of those for you. But you can come here and you can see under the writings that you need to do, you see I've already changed the date here to the 9th. Your first assignment is to write a 5-paragraph essay. And I do break this down a little bit for you and what I want in each one of those paragraphs. So if you struggle with sitting down wondering what in the world am I going to write on, well, I have a roadmap for you right here. So I tell you what I want you to include in your first paragraph. And then I tell you in your second paragraph and what you're going to do in the third, and then the fourth, and then the fifth. So you're actually going to have 5 full typed paragraphs, and you're going to want to shoot for about 500 words. This is really kind of the minimum of where you need to be. Now, if you write more, that's fine. Some of you guys really get into this kind of assignment, and it's great. But 500 words is really about 2 pages, and it's fully typed. And you're going to see that I'm going to have you go ahead and start setting this up in MLA format. And for this initial paper, you're going to see that you will double space your essay. And I do have a walkthrough video to help you do that under our MLA formatting. So if you haven't done this before, I'll show you how to set up your page. You're going to use Times New Roman 12-point font, even your title. Everything is going to be 12-point font, so don't make big bolds or, change the font size or underlines and things like that. You're just going to stick right with this all the way through the paper. And you're going to see, you're going to have this type of heading on the left hand with your name, my name, the class, and the date. You're going to see that I want you to have a great title. This is a way to, really pull in the reader, which in this case is me. And we don't want to have anything dreadful or really boring, because that kind of sets up your paper to not really be exciting. And you want someone who's grading a paper to be excited about what they're looking at. So these are some great ways we can hook someone in. So think of a really cool title. Sometimes I'll pull a lyric out of the particular song that I'm analyzing, or maybe use a really great quote. And just something that's going to whet the appetite of the reader. Imagine it's like an appetizer. So you want to give them a small bite of what is to come. All right, so you're going to see that you're going to save your essay as you're writing it in Word, and you're going to upload it right into the Dropbox. And you can see that's right up here. And I do have them labeled, the different folders labeled, so you can click into that. But everything you need to know about this essay is right here, and I'll be talking about this a little bit more in the Zoom meeting, so if you have any questions, feel free to bring those, and I'm happy to talk with you about some ideas. All right, so you can see we also have this week for writing a discussion post, and I want you to consider the First Amendment here. And I do have that kind of put here. And our idea here is to really start kind of brainstorming a little bit. I want you to think about this idea of censorship and the debate that is generally surrounded with protest music is whether or not we should ban these songs. I want you to think about this, and there's no right or wrong answer here. I'm open to how you defend a position. You're not going to be graded on whether you answer this the way that I want you to answer this. I want you to really think about what the First Amendment says. And then I want you to think about, what exactly is this protecting? Who does it protect us from? And do we have any exceptions that you know of? If you want, you can do a little background information reading here. I think it's always helpful to know your amendments, especially in the climate that we have today when we're talking about, what exactly is free speech. This is really important. We see the fallout, earlier this year, we had all these debates with, Twitter banning people, including Donald Trump, off of forums, and same thing with Facebook. And, what is protected speech and what is not protected speech, and who gets to decide? And so these are really, really important questions to consider, especially since we are living in a world that is dominated by social media. And I'm sure you can think of several cases where information that has been written online has come back to haunt the writer. So I really want you to think about what is free speech and what is protected, and really who is, being protected. And who are they being protected from? So give this some consideration. I also want you to tell me about the song that you're thinking about writing for this essay, and maybe do you know of any other protest songs that you're familiar with? We can have a discussion here. You might jog the memory of someone else who's like, oh yeah, that is a protest song, and they might be able to use that and might find it helpful. So, hopefully we can have a good discussion here. Let me come back over here. So we have the readings that we need to do. We have our writings that we're going to do. On these examples that I have here, I have, the lyrics for you to look at, the song for you to listen to, and then I also have some videos here for you to watch if you're into watching music or watching music videos. So hopefully these will be helpful to you. Your weekly grammar instruction, I showed you did have a quiz, but here's all the information. I have combinations of, videos for you to watch, links for you to look at, and a handout. We looked at last week with that professional email. So many of you guys have different types of learning styles. So I like to have as many different varieties of information for you right here. But I'll be happy to talk about this on the Zoom meeting also. Or, if you're taking that quiz and you're struggling a little bit and you have some questions, reach out to me. I'm happy to help you. This is what we're here for. So I hope you have a great week. I look forward to your oral presentations and seeing you on Zoom and, our discussion on the discussion board. I can't wait to hear the songs that you choose. And if you have any questions, you guys know how to reach me. Have a great week.